Hey, it's Evan Cohen coming up Monday. Damian Woody joins us in studio at 7:30 a.m. Eastern to react to Week 2 in the NFL and to look ahead to a Monday Night Football doubleheader. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station.
Madison, Wisconsin is as good as it gets.
It's all about the Badgers.
Go Badgers! Go Badgers!
Games like this is what really separates college football from everything else.
Open up the history books. Here comes Rondell.
That was J.J. Watt, and what a story this young man is.
Gordon again. What a performance by Melvin Gordon.
And the pass rush gets home for the Badgers. Camp Randall lets it roar.
This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
A massive opportunity for the Wisconsin Badgers on the road in Tuscaloosa, visiting the 19th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. 20.5-point underdogs. We'll see how it goes this afternoon in Alabama. Wisconsin, Alabama. Counting you down to kickoff on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Brewed by Coors Light on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and live video streaming on the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel. Subscribe there so you get updates every time we go live with all of our great shows, including our ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay pregame and postgame shows. Live from the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison, alongside Adam Mertz. No Brad Nortman again this week, for good reason. You'll hear all about it soon on Kyle Bruston Nortman and when he rejoins us on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. My name is Jesse Nelson, getting ready for a big game in Tuscaloosa. Wisconsin, Alabama coming your way. Kickoff is set for 11 a.m. this morning on ABC and the ESPN app. Adam Mertz, yes, the Badgers are underdogs. Yes, it's unlikely they're going to get a victory at Alabama today, but they have an opportunity, and a unique one, to stun the college football world.
Yeah, it's an amazing opportunity. You think back to the times in recent history when the Badgers have played these kinds of marquee opponents, in LSU up at Lambeau Field, which I was lucky enough to be in the stands for that one. Alabama coming in last year, going to Alabama's campus this year. Playing an SEC team in their home environment is so special. I'm so glad we're away from the sanitized NFL stadiums only. College football is about campus experience, about being there on someone's home turf and experiencing all their traditions and all the lore. And you're going to get all of that today in Tuscaloosa. I am going to say, Jesse, I was self-conscious when I saw the camera here. I'm like, did I wear the right shade of red?
That does kind of look a little Alabama Crimson Tide.
I don't have to think about it most Saturdays. I'm like, man. So I just want to throw it out there. This is not a statement shirt.
Kalen DeBoer, the head coach of Alabama, is being interviewed right now on ESPN's College GameDay behind you, and it does match eerily similar to what the Alabama logo looks like. I will say that. So ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay is presented by Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer as cold as the Rockies. Cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Wisconsin, Alabama, 11 a.m. kickoff today on ABC and the ESPN app. So Barry Alvarez said a week and a half ago he thinks Wisconsin could be favored in that game. Obviously, they are not. They are 20.5-point underdogs. But there are a lot of contributing factors kind of going on to what's happening today, and injury updates abundant. And quite frankly, I wanted to say this to start the show here today, too. We've done 2 pregame shows so far this season. I think we've mentioned one player on the opposing team in the 2 pregame shows, 4 hours of content that we've done leading up to games, and that was DeQuan Finn, the quarterback for Miami, Ohio. I don't think we mentioned a single Middle Tennessee player last week on Regent Street, and I don't think we mentioned any other Miami, Ohio player. Well, we have a lot of Alabama players to talk about today. So let's start with their marquee wide receiver, the sophomore Ryan Williams, who is expected to contend for a Heisman Trophy this year. He is the real deal. We saw that on full display last year at Camp Randall Stadium. He is expected to play returning from a concussion this week against Wisconsin. He did not play last week. He suffered that concussion in the fourth quarter against Florida State when Alabama lost the opener on Labor Day weekend, but he is expected to play. So good luck to the Wisconsin secondary defending that immensely talented receiver in Ryan Williams, maybe the best in the country.
Yeah, and especially after last week's performance where a couple of times Badger cornerbacks were caught lost in space, not making plays on the ball. Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith last year just burst onto the scene, guys that I was wondering, how can you keep them in college for 3 years? They seem to be the types that would be someone who could challenge the NFL even on that 3-year rule because they are just primetime players. I will say that Jeremy Bernard has been very solid for Alabama. So this is not a one-horse show. Getting Ryan Williams back, if he's not in compromised position, it's going to put pressure in at least 2 spots on that Wisconsin defense.
Wisconsin injury updates. By the way, Alabama, that's not the only guy we're talking about here. Jam Miller, the running back, was injured. Sounds like he may be good to go. Their tight end is for sure out. So Alabama's got their own set of injury issues that they're worrying about here.
And a first-year quarterback trying to still break in and get comfortable back there.
Ty Simpson is the junior quarterback. Now, he's been at Alabama for 4 years. He's a junior. This is his first year starting, so he's familiar with the system and Kalen DeBoer and whatnot. But they've got flaws. There's no doubt. They have potential flaws. On the other side, we do have the Wisconsin Badgers and injury updates from ESPN's Pete Thamel this morning. So let's start with quarterback. Danny O'Neal is expected to start for the second straight game with Billy Edwards not expected to play. Pete Thamel shared that about 10 minutes ago. So that is the update. Wisconsin expected to start Danny O'Neal for the second straight game at quarterback with Billy Edwards not expected to play. That does second the report that he had earlier this week, which was that Billy Edwards was not expected to start at quarterback for Wisconsin this week. So we kind of knew that coming into the day, but now it is all but official that Billy Edwards is not going to play. Danny O'Neal, the transfer from San Diego State, who set a record last week for most completion yards in a first start by any Wisconsin quarterback ever. He gets the start at Alabama today, most likely.
How much better do you feel about Danny O'Neal after what you saw last week? Because I thought that first weekend getting thrown into the mix after a bizarre injury like that, you're not expecting to be in that position, but it seemed like he was a lot more comfortable, that they had things designed up for him a lot more, more to his talents last week.
For sure, and obviously, like, you go in, you spend the entire offseason planning for Billy Edwards, and then he gets hurt in the second quarter. Like, what are you going to do? So, of course, it was going to look better last week. It did seem like it played more to Danny O'Neal's skill set. A lot of quick passes last week, I noticed, and I think that'll help this week. We'll talk more about that as our show continues, with how good that Alabama front is and how not good Wisconsin's offensive line has been the last 2 games. But he's not Braden Locke. Riley Auk, who traditionally hosts our post-game show, he usually produces our pregame show. He is off this week at Alabama. He is with buddies in Tuscaloosa taking in the Alabama-Wisconsin game. I think he's actually going to join us on the show, on the pregame show here in a little bit. So stay tuned for Riley's appearance live from Tuscaloosa. Can't wait to see what that's like. So Riley has pounded the table that Danny O'Neal, what he likes about him is he's not Braden Locke. It's not the same story as a freshman who's coming into Wisconsin and learning this offense and hasn't had any experience. Like, Danny O'Neal played a bunch of games last year. He threw for over 2,000 yards at San Diego State. Mountain West football is not Big Ten football, but it's not cupcake football. Like, Mountain West football is the real deal. You're playing some good teams out there. So throwing 2,000 yards against that competition, there's a lot of experience that he brings in as the backup quarterback this year. And I think Luke Fickell saw you can't go to battle here in the Big Ten with a inexperienced quarterback, and that's why not only Billy Edwards, but also Danny O'Neal were brought in the transfer portal this offseason. And we've seen, as like we saw last week, 23 of 27, set a record for yardage in a first start for a Wisconsin quarterback. Wisconsin can win with Danny O'Neal. That's what I'm optimistic about today, is that he can keep them at least in the game competitive and they can play to his skill set.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was really impressed just with his mental approach to the game. He is a guy who's locked in. You can tell that he's got a lot of respect in that huddle for how he plays. I thought that he played a lot more within himself, which was what I was looking for last week. A little bit more predictable in the pocket, which I think helped out his line as well. And the thing that differentiates him, if you're going to take everything else aside, is his ability to make plays, extend plays with his feet. And we just have not seen that the last couple of years with our Badger backup quarterback, at least.
And another injury update here, and we're going to talk more about Danny O'Neal and more about all these things as we continue on, as we count down to kickoff here on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz. Pete Thamel also sharing this morning, Wisconsin center Jake Renfro with a lower body injury. Okay, lower body injury for Jake Renfro is a game-time decision at Alabama today. This is reading from Pete Thamel's tweet. He's going to warm up and is ultimately expected to play. He missed the Middle Tennessee game last week, and Wisconsin struggled with the quarterback-center exchange. Yeah, you got that right, Pete. They sure did last week.
Yeah, seriously. Shades of 23, right?
So that's big if Jake Renfro, as Pete Thamel says of ESPN, is ultimately expected to play today at Alabama. Good news for the Badgers' offensive line.
Absolutely. As he pointed out with the snap situation, obviously there was the definitely the huge loss on the snap over Danny O'Neal's head, but you think back to 2023 when there were those issues getting the ball to Tanner Mordecai's hands in rhythm and keeping a play on track. And you just don't want to see that. You can't have any margin of error today. And so having Jake Renfro in there, both for the snapping and then just for the consistency on the offensive line, center kind of calling the offense, getting alignments right against a really talented defensive line, as you would expect from Alabama.
So again, the updates this morning. Ryan Williams, the receiver for Alabama, expected to play. Jake Renfro, starting center for Wisconsin, expected to play. Billy Edwards, not expected to play. Danny O'Neal, expected to get the start at quarterback for Wisconsin as they take on the Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa. 42-10 was the final last year at Camp Randall Stadium. And if you recall, Mertzy, the first half of the game was competitive.
Absolutely.
Tyler Van Dyke got hurt on the opening drive.
Yep.
Wisconsin, I think they took a 3-0 lead, if I remember correctly. They did lead Alabama. We scored first. That's a fun chant.
There you go. Got the chant.
Used to do in the old days. So Wisconsin scored first. Alabama went up, and it was 14-3 with a couple of minutes to go until halftime. Wisconsin driving down the field with Braden Locken at quarterback. They are unable to convert on points. They miss a field goal. Alabama gets it back. 2 plays down the field. Ryan Williams coming out party scores a touchdown. 21-3 ball game. So momentum shifts like that are what Wisconsin needs to avoid and eliminate. And I'm sure Luke Fickell, Jeff Grimes, and the whole squad has talked about that throughout this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think 2 other things that stood out to me were the fumbles. Last year, Ches Malusi, the one in open field when the Badgers were trailing 7-3, and he had a really nice carry that he popped off. That seemed to be the beginning of the end for Ches in terms of that coach's tolerance for what he was able to deliver out there. Cade Yaconelli had a fumble at 21-3 in the second half, and Cade's participation in the offense went down precipitously after that as well. So they were watching. They were watching how players performed in those big moments, and that was a tough hit on both counts. Alabama took advantage, and you're right. You're dead right, Jesse. You basically have to play a perfect game today to think that you can stay in this game against the Crimson Tide.
Barry Alvarez, Tarek Saleh, Derek Engler talked about it on the Barry Alvarez show on ESPN Madison earlier this week. If Wisconsin can just get back to the roots of not beating themselves, control time of possession, you might not score on every play. You're not going to win the game in the first half. There's no doubt about that. But eliminate turnovers, avoid mistakes, avoid costly penalties, and if they can just play sound fundamental football, they're going to have a chance to at least stay competitive and close and potentially get it to a one-score game in the fourth quarter here today. And if you can do that, you never know what's going to happen. The more I'm falling for this again, Mertzy.
Are you doing it to yourself?
The closer we get to kickoff, the more I start to think they might have a chance.
Yeah.
Like we did this last year, too, on Regent Street before this game. All week, no chance. We're going to do our score predictions coming up next, what I shared earlier this week. No chance. And then as we get within 3 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes, I'm like, maybe they could do it. Alabama lost to Florida State. They're injured. They're banged up. Yeah. We can bush them around a little bit. If we could just get back to our roots. We run the ball effectively. Quick pass it. Maybe they could do something special today in Tuscaloosa. Am I crazy?
You're not totally crazy, but I just think back because I do think back to last year. Let's look at this roster. I think that it is vastly improved in a lot of respects from last year's team, and they had 3 marquee games. And they came out to play in all 3 marquee games. So you're going to get the best effort. I feel like you're going to get the best effort out of these guys. Whether they can avoid the mental mistakes, physical mistakes, that's up for debate. But I think that the Badgers are going to show up and give you a good effort today. I just worry about that wear and tear over 4 quarters against a team like this that just can keep coming at you.
Our game day promise, we will deliver our game predictions next. We always give you our game predictions in the first hour of our show this year, so we have time to stew on them a little bit as we get set for kickoff each week. So our game predictions, our official locks in for what we expect for Wisconsin, Alabama in Tuscaloosa coming up at 11 a.m. this morning. We'll get to those coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brought to you in part by Badgerland Exteriors. Looking for a reliable roofing and home restoration company in Wisconsin? Well, I can tell you, Badgerland Exteriors is here to help. Residential and commercial roofing, siding, and solar, Badgerland Exteriors has you covered. Visit badgerlandexteriors.com to get started today on your next project. Game predictions for Wisconsin, Alabama, coming your way next on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
It's kickoff time at Metro Ford of Madison, and we're bringing the heat with unbeatable truck deals. Get the 2025 F-150 Lightning with 0% APR for 72 months, $13.89 per $1,000 borrowed, or tackle any job with the 2024 F-150 or F-150 XLT, now at 2.9 APR for 66 months, $16.41 per $1,000 borrowed. These offers end September 30th, so don't fumble your chance to save. Visit MetroFordofMadison.com and score your next truck today.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Your family's safety is your responsibility, and it starts with a solid roof. When the next storm rips through and takes some of your shingles with it, call Badgerland Exteriors. Or looking to replace your whole roof but don't want to break the bank? Let the team at Badgerland Exteriors give you a free, no obligations estimate.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit badgerlandexteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's badgerlandexteriors.com.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you.
Be first in line for 2026 Brewers season tickets available now. Secure the best seats in the house at the best rates of the season and get a 2025 regular season Brewers game free. Plus, fuller half-season plans of 2 or more seats get a custom Brewers starter jacket. Learn more at brewers.com/season tickets.
Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run through the end of the 2025 season, with tee times starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package request early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Wisconsin, Alabama. One of the games circled on the 2025 schedule for the Wisconsin Badgers this season. We're counting you down to kickoff on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. Jesse Nelson along with Adam Mertz in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison. Make sure you stick around, by the way, afterwards today for the ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay post-game show. I'll be joining Corey Sparks at Monk's Bar and Grill in Middleton. Every time, so I don't often do the post-game show anymore, but every time I do it over the last 3 years, we're always at Monk's in Middleton, which is an awesome spot. I love that we're at Monk's in Middleton. It's just coincidentally, every time we're there, like once, maybe twice a year. Every time we're at Monk's in Middleton, I'm doing the post-game show. So I'm with Corey Sparks today. We're going to be out at Monk's. It's going to be a fun time. Hopefully we're celebrating and raising a few Coors Lights following Wisconsin's victory over Alabama today.
That is correct.
Yeah, we'll see if that ends up being the case, though. Time now for our game picks, brought to you by Pepsi. Enjoy Pepsi, a proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers. Get game day ready with Pepsi, the taste that scores every time. Try Pepsi Zero Sugar, the perfect drink for your tailgate party, and a tasty mixer. I was using it as a tasty mixer watching another football team on Thursday night this week. Pepsi, proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers on Wisconsin. Let's get to our game picks.
Will we be jumping around?
Big win for Luke Fickell and Wisconsin.
Or will it be heartbreak for the Badgers?
Feel bad for the Badgers. They gave it their all. One too many mistakes.
It's time to make our picks on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Our promise to you each and every week on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, we make our game picks early in the show so we can spend the rest of the show defending them and reviewing what you have to say about them on the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line at 844-770-3776, or of course in the comments on the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels as well. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you join us each and every show. Adam Mertz, I give you the floor for your game pick this week, Wisconsin and Alabama.
For diving right into the pick, I was thinking a little bit on the break about something I heard last year. I think it was either Ches or Ricardo Hallman talking about how a game like this is something that if you manage to pull it off, this is like family legacy type of material, something you can hang your hat on for the rest of your life. Pretty cool experience for these guys. I'm not picking Wisconsin to win today by any means. But I'm really excited by this opportunity, way more than I was a week and a half ago at this point after seeing that team against Miami even. I feel like the way that Alabama's season has started, I think that so much of what Nick Saban built, obviously he had the talent, but I think a lot of it was confidence. This supreme confidence, this feeling of invincibility that they were secured, safe, and had this thing rolling. And that got obliterated against Florida State, and now with the injuries that they've had to face. So now it's more just playing football game. And I like what I see in terms of what Jeff Grimes has brought to this offense. I loved seeing Lance Mason get involved last week. He was a guy that looked really tentative in week 1, but he's a pass catcher and is a tight end who can stretch a field. So I'm looking for Jeff to empty the bag this week. And he's going to have to against an Alabama defense that can just stop you up front, especially with the offensive line has performed so far. I do think that Alabama is going to wear down Wisconsin in this one, and that's why I'm going with the Crimson Tide. 33-13. I did that purposely to stay under the 20.5 at the time when I was there. I am expecting Badgers and points today.
33-13 is the official pick for Adam Mertz here on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. My official game pick is 34-10 Alabama. Now, I will preface that by saying this. I had to explain to my brothers-in-law a couple of years back. When I picked the Packers to lose games, it's not that I'm not rooting for the Packers to win. It's just what I think is going to happen. I hope I'm wrong. Some people don't understand that.
Right.
I hope I'm wrong that Alabama wins this game in the 34-10 range today. I want Wisconsin to win. That would be much better for a lot of different reasons. I don't think it's going to happen. And I'm torn. I thought about maybe a late touchdown to get it to 34-17 if Wisconsin's playing hard to the finish line. I actually think this game's going to stay close early. I don't think Alabama's going to come bursting out of the gates and have this be 21-0 lead out of there goes that. I think this is going to be a slowish start, a little sluggish maybe on both sides. I think it's going to be a pretty low-scoring first half. And I think Wisconsin stays in it and will be fairly optimistic at halftime. Alabama's not playing that well. If we can just correct a couple of things, we know Jeff Grimes makes some great halftime adjustments. Maybe Wisconsin can stay in this thing. And I think they could keep it in a 1 or 2 score game as we get into the fourth quarter. And then I think Alabama pulls away. Maybe Wisconsin gets a late score. I was torn between 34-17 and 34-10. I left it at 34-10, thinking Alabama is still playing with a little chip on their shoulder after that loss to Florida State. So 34-10 is my official game prediction. I hope I'm wrong. I do want Wisconsin to win this game, and I sure hope they can keep it closer than that. And that, if this is a one-score game in the fourth quarter and Wisconsin has the football, I think we're going to feel good about a lot of what's going on in Tuscaloosa today. And it doesn't matter if Wisconsin necessarily wins the game. It's about how you feel leaving this game. And if you can feel like they were competitive against one of the perennial powerhouses in college football, if you can feel like they won certain components of the game against a heavily favored opponent, then as we start to look ahead at Michigan and Ohio State and Oregon and some of these other big games that are circled for the rest of the year, but also those even opponents, Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, you would feel really good about where this season's trajectory may go if Wisconsin can win certain parts of the game today and feel good leaving Tuscaloosa. I don't know if I want to say I believe in moral victories, but I do believe in how you feel as a team leaving a big non-conference game as a 20-point underdog on the road. And I think that is something Wisconsin can win today.
Am I thinking correctly that the last time that the Badgers were this big of a road dog, it was that Ohio State game and Paul Chryst' second to last game, and that was a debacle.
It was 28-0 before you knew it. Cracked your second Coors Light.
Exactly, before you knew it was going on. And there was kind of the sure sign of things were not right over there at 1440. So I agree. I mean, I don't like cheering for moral victories. And I thought last year it was devastating to see the pick six against Penn State when you had Drew Allard knocked out of the game. It was devastating to see Oregon come out of jump around and complete a 4th and 9 pass at midfield that if it doesn't go their way, they're playing on their back heels the rest of the game. That team had chances last year, and they just have not been able to get over the hump. So to sit here and say this matters to get a moral victory, no. I mean, you need to win a game for sure, especially in year 3 of a new coach. But I think that we're all pretty clear about the challenge they're facing with the schedule this year. And to your point, my focus has been on those 50-50 games, on the Illinois, on the Michigan. That's where I really see that the Badgers have to show improvement this year, not just in playing well, but in actually taking home those games.
But it does start today with Alabama.
Absolutely.
Let's see how they can compete against a top 25 opponent in the SEC on the road in a really unique opportunity. As you said at the start of the show, Adam, this is a opportunity to showcase Wisconsin on one of the biggest stages in college football. Like, this is an awesome SEC triple header that ABC has today. Wisconsin, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, LSU. Wisconsin is in that mix. And nationally speaking, we know Wisconsin's been down. We know morale has been down. And I think nationally they're starting to pick up on that. But even last year when Alabama came to Camp Randall, no one was thinking Wisconsin's down. Like, they were thinking this is one of the big dogs of the Big Ten still. Like, they should be competing with Alabama. And it hurt to get beat up the way that we did against the Crimson Tide in our house last year. So maybe a little return of that medicine for some of the players that are returning this season and staying with them and making, Kalen DeBoer's already on the hot seat. We know that from that loss to Florida State, not making the playoff last year. Like, just make them uneasy and get tensions going. And that crowd is going to be very susceptible with an 11 a.m. kickoff to getting out of the game. They're already on edge a little bit because of how this thing's going down there. Take them out of the game early, long sustained drive, see what happens.
Yeah, out of the game, and or seeing some of what happened at Camp Randall last weekend with the team getting booed off the field at halftime.
Yeah.
In terms of the performance, I mean, they're not going to be happy with they aren't happy with what's going on here. So if they don't come out and demonstrate a big advantage pretty early, there's going to be a lot of people squirming.
Let us know your game picks on the Carbliss ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Text those in for us this morning at 844-770-3776. Again, that phone number is 844-770-3776. Text in your score predictions for Wisconsin, Alabama today. We'll be happy to review them as we continue with our show leading up to kickoff at 11 a.m. this morning here on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light. Also brought to you in part by Starion Bank. Normally when we're down on Regent Street, we're broadcasting live from the Starion Bank broadcast booth. Can't wait to be back there next weekend when Maryland comes to Madison. Experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. As a community bank with commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona today, or head online at starionbank.com. Coming up next, scheduled to appear live from Tuscaloosa, Riley Yauk, the host of the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show. He and his best buds taking Tuscaloosa by storm. We'll hear from Riley next on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
This is a magical month at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, with 13 chances to win big every week. Starting at 6 p.m. each Friday in September, 12 winners will enter an enchanted forest and select a cash prize of up to $2,500. Then at 9 p.m. every Friday, one winner will open a door to reveal a grand prize of up to $10,000 in cash. Be here for our Forest of Fortune promotion happening every Friday night in September. Don't miss your chance for prizes all month long at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Wisconsin icon.
It's all about the Badgers.
The dawn of the Wisconsin Badgers.
We did it better than everybody for 20-some years.
Joined by two of his football legends.
I like all of them, except for quarterbacks.
I like defensive ends. Hey, I really like defensive ends.
Someone didn't like kickers at one point.
The Barry Alvarez Show with Barry Alvarez, Tarek Sala, Derek Engler, and Jesse Nelson. Live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton every Monday night. Right here on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The sound of summaries on ESPN Madison.
And a swing and a miss. Would you like fries with that?
Madison's home of the Brewers.
Fly ball to deep right. Get going and gone!
Catch every Milwaukee Brewers game this season on 100.5 ESPN.
Here's the throw from Perkins. It is going to be in time!
Brewers baseball on ESPN Madison is presented by Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Also brought to you by Wisconsin Surplus and Mount Horeb.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Midwest's best baseball players have one thing in common: GRB Academy. For 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, producing over 468 college commits and 27 major league draft picks. Their Windsor facility has 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training space. Next up to bat is GRB's Top Prospect Camp on Sunday, October 12th, open to the high school classes of 2026 through 2029. Claim your spot now at grbacademy.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
It's a home run! But wait, is your roof ready for the big league storms? If your roof has more holes than a catcher's mitt, it's time to bring in the pros. At Avondale Roofing, we've been handling leaks, repairs, and full replacements with major league precision for over 30 years. And as a GAF Master Elite certified contractor, we bring top-tier quality and proven performance to every job. Whether it's a quick patch-up or full upgrade, our team steps up to the plate and knocks it out of the park every time. You're out! Don't wait till water's in your dugout. Call Avondale Roofing today and keep your home in the win column.
The care at Stoughton Health was outstanding. My other provider couldn't get me in as quick as I wanted. So when I called Stoughton Health, things were going to happen much quicker, and that's why I decided to come here.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and live video streaming on the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz with you in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison. Our show brought to you in part by Celebrations Entertainment. With Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. And if you want to talk about a fun, memorable experience, we're going to want to talk to the host of the ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay post-game show, producer of our pregame show, and of the Jump Around, a Badgers dedicated digital show debuting every Thursday on the ESPN Madison digital platforms. Live from Tuscaloosa with his best pals, Riley Yauk joins us on site in Alabama. Riley, how you doing?
Man, Jesse, I am doing absolutely fantastic. I wish our video worked so you could see the sheer number of Wisconsin Badgers fans here in Tuscaloosa. If you thought I was insufferably positive heading into this game, seeing the atmosphere, and it's got to be like 60-40. Wisconsin damn near the 60. 40% of these fans, every third or fourth person we see is in Cardinal and white wearing a Badgers jersey. I'm looking at a Dare Agumbawale jersey to my right now. I'm never been more confident in my life that the Badgers are going to string an upset than after seeing this atmosphere right now.
All right. Awesome. No, you're doing this to yourself again. Are you sure you're not just like Are you sure you're not just near the airport and, like, this is where the plane just landed a minute ago and all the Badgers fans hopped off the plane getting over?
We are we're walking by a bunch of Badgers fans right now. Go Bucky. We are in the quad, which is, like, the happening spot for Alabama tailgating. Really the only spot they have tailgating from what I have seen and from what I've heard. And it's overrun with Badgers fans right now. I am not being facetious. I am not over-exaggerating. We have been asked many times by Bama fans, why are there so many of you here? How are there so many of you here? It has been sensational. The Badgers fans have shown up today.
The why part, I'm sure that's part of their suspicions that this will not be a close game, unlike Riley. Did you bust out some roll badge on them?
We did. Actually, we had a great interaction. We were walking by. There was a Badgers fan in the crowd. Must have been her friends or going to Bama or Bama fans. And she hit us with a roll badge. And we respond in kind with roll badge. And then her friend behind her is like, I'm going to throw up. It was awesome.
In fairness, roll badge is a really stupid thing. I don't know why we do that.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, I know a lot of Badgers fans hate that too, but down here it works perfectly.
Hey, you know what's awesome about that, Riley, is I was at that game. I was sitting in the upper deck last year, and it was overrun with Alabama fans. And it was, in one way, it's really cool that they turned out. That's what these matchups are all about. That's what this is supposed to happen. But it was annoying, and it only got even worse because you heard Roll Tide so many times throughout that second half. It was just brutal. What's your sort of mindset and your preparation on going in there and enjoying this experience in Bryant-Denny Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, my mindset is, we're here to take over. It's the old Conor McGregor quote. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. I am coming to watch a Wisconsin Badgers victory. And doing that, like, we researched where are the best places to go, where do we got to hit. And it's awesome because all the Badgers fans have just, like, naturally gravitated towards the alcohol and the tailgating.
Weird.
It's been hilarious. I know, a shocker, to be sure. But it's just been awesome to see. And you want to experience the culture, SEC Game Day. I know, Jesse, I texted you earlier this morning that it was oddly quiet. And when we were walking in, you see everyone in their polos and their slacks. And until we got to the quad, I don't know, it was like a cocktail party, or you're heading to church on Sunday. Or maybe we're heading to the funeral of the Alabama dynasty right now.
Oh, my God.
Ooh, wow.
I mean, it could be. You never know.
He has
Got to keep hope alive. But
he has more confidence than Barry Alvarez when he was a head coach walking into any stadium. That is brimming with confidence, Riley out from Tuscaloosa right now.
You need that. I think so. And that's also part of my mindset. You got to be ready to watch a win. And if we lose, we lose. Who cares? Everyone's expecting us to lose anyway. But coming in, hope springs eternal right now, and it's been a blast. Certainly very different than a Wisconsin game day, to be sure.
So Riley Yauk joins us from Tuscaloosa. He is attending the game as a fan today, and apparently so are a lot of other Badgers fans watching Wisconsin and 19th-ranked Alabama with kickoff coming up at 11 a.m. on ABC and the ESPN app. So, Riley, I think most fans know an 11 a.m. kickoff in Madison, what the game day routine is for young adults, let's say. You wake up, you pretty much get right after it right away, and you're maybe bouncing around to different establishments, different parties. Everybody's got their own thing going, and then you work your way into the stadium. In Alabama, in Tuscaloosa, where you are right now, from the time you woke up this morning, what has the routine been compared to what you normally would do in Madison?
So, obviously, we had to drive an hour to Tuscaloosa, so the drinking started a little later today. But that seems to be the norm. Back in Madison, you wake up and you're after it immediately. The bars have been open since like 7 a.m., probably before. There are lines out the door everywhere on Regent and State Street. Here, we got here about 8:30 in the morning. And like I said, walking until we got to the quad, it was weirdly quiet. There was no music, no buzz. I understand Wisconsin isn't a marquee opponent for Alabama. I'm sure next week against Georgia, it'll be a little different. But they seem really unaccustomed to 11 a.m. kickoffs here. With all due respect, I don't think their fans are ready for an 11 a.m. kickoff. It seems to be you show up, you walk into the stadium, and that's about it. I guess they're here for football and just football, for better or for worse. But, yeah, it was a little jarring seeing how calm and composed the atmosphere was arriving here.
I mean, in fairness, they don't play a lot of 11 a.m. games. They're usually on prime time or 2:30. Like, this is kind of a unique situation. They've played them before, but it's not normal, I would say. So I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, I also understand, like, they're not used to it. And even in Madison, like, obviously the buzz surrounding the night game is significantly higher than it is for an 11 a.m. kickoff. But I don't know. It's very different. The tailgating culture here, certainly not nearly as impressive or as important to these fans. But we're currently standing next to the Nick Saban statue here in the Champions Walk. And Nick Saban's still a very big part of this culture down here. There's a line to take pictures in front of it right now. So that is not something we're used to seeing too much in Wisconsin for sure.
Yeah, some might say he's a shadow over Kalen DeBoer's shoulder right now at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, Riley, like I can't let you get away with just calling a Badger win without explaining exactly how that's going to happen. In all seriousness, what do you see today for them to be competitive in this game?
Yeah, I talked about this on the jump around on Thursday. I think the biggest key to the game for the Badgers today is a pass rush. I'm confident Alabama's running game has not been impressive so far this season. Wisconsin's running defense has been significantly improved. I don't think the Tide are going to be able to run the football too well today. However, if Ty Simpson, he led the FBS in passing efficiency last week, if he has time to throw, Ryan Williams also active for the game today, our secondary will get chewed up. They need to get pressure. They need to make Ty Simpson uncomfortable, and that is how they're going to win this football game. I will be very, very concerned if Ty Simpson has all day to throw. I'm confident in the Badgers' offense. I think they'll be able to score points today. Alabama's rushing defense also hasn't been impressive. Their front has been pushed around by Florida State. Last week, Louisiana Monroe clearly overmatched. But if the Badgers are able to generate just a little bit of a running game, open up the passing lanes for Danny O'Neal, I think he'll thrive today. It's on defense. We're not going to win a shootout if Ryan Williams and Ty Simpson are just able to play pitch and catch all afternoon. So I think they get a pass rush. That refreshed front seven for the Badgers gets home, gets active today, makes a big statement, and the Badgers walk away with a 34-27, or I believe I put a 31-27 win on my official score prediction. messed up by a field goal there. But Badgers pulling the upset in Tuscaloosa.
I hope he's got at least one person in the listening audience believing in the Wisconsin Badgers today. I guess you convinced Hunter Vaughn. I'm looking at our graphic on the ESPN Madison social media platforms. Hunter Vaughn has also picked the Badgers to win 24-21 today. Wow. So you're not alone, Riley. You convinced at least one person they're going to win today.
Hey, I'm happy to do so. I hope I convinced at least a couple more Badgers fans at home. At the very worst, if the Badgers start slow, don't come out, don't play their best football today, very least they're going to cover. 21.5 point spread is absolutely ridiculous and horribly disrespectful. Very bare minimum they cover today.
Riley, enjoy Bryant-Denny Stadium. Show those Alabama fans, along with all the other Badgers fans who are there, how to party beforehand. You still got an hour to do so. Go get them.
Oh, we will, Jesse. Appreciate you having me on, and hopefully you guys can be just as celebratory as we will in the post-game show after Wisconsin springs the upset. Have a great game, guys.
I feel bad talking to I felt this way for the last 3 weeks because he keeps saying we're so excited to go. They're gonna beat out. How's he gonna be in 3.5 hours? I don't know.
Like a wellness check? Is that what you're thinking about?
Riley just keeps saying they're gonna win. They're gonna win. They're gonna win. He's been saying this since August, and now we're here. It's the day he's there, and I feel like by the time we get to 2:00 this afternoon, his spirit will just be this might be the last time that we get to hear from him when he's jovial and looking forward to this game, and then he's gonna be so sad afterward because he truly believes Wisconsin's gonna win this football game.
Insufferably positive, he called himself at the beginning. I'm like, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Hey, you know what? That's a great attitude, though, as a fan going into a game. Enjoy it for what it's worth. Enjoy it early on. I did hear a tinge of house money being played in there in Riley's comment. So if you can't go in and enjoy this experience, regardless of how it turns out, there's something wrong with you.
Riley out, joining us from Tuscaloosa as he gets ready to attend Wisconsin, Alabama today. It's a trip he's been looking forward to with his buddies for a long time, so I'm glad we were able to share some of that experience with him here this morning on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. One of the things that might make the tailgating scene at Alabama a little better, Liberty Station barbecue. Maybe our friends at Liberty Station can show them how it's done. Our friends at Liberty Station do run a game day shuttle during home football games this season in Madison. The best deal in sports, baby. For just $20, get a Coors Light and a round-trip ride to Camp Randall. If you're driving up from the Milwaukee area and you're coming to Madison to attend a football game, especially next week, 11 a.m., everybody's kind of getting here about the same time. The last thing you want to do is worry about the parking downtown. They're trying to squeeze into a tiny spot or find a expensive structure to park in. Go to Liberty Station on the west side of Madison. They make it so easy for you. $20, Coors Light in hand. You hop on the shuttle. It leaves 2 hours before and 1 hour before to head downtown. Best deal in sports. You will not regret it. Drops you off right there by Camp Randall Stadium. It all starts at Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse, located off the Beltline on Rimrock Road, the official tailgate caterer of ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. And by the way, when you do that shuttle, you also get the delicious barbecue, the mac and cheese, the pulled pork is fantastic. Their nachos. They have a bunch of good stuff at Liberty Station. So even after the game, you take the shuttle back, get yourself a little snack before you head home at Liberty Station on the west side of Madison, just off the Beltline. Best deal in sports, $20 for a Coors Light and a shuttle ride right down to Camp Randall. Remember that for next week if you're making your plans to come see Wisconsin and Maryland with an 11 a.m. kickoff next Saturday at Camp Randall Stadium. We'll take a look at what else is going on around the world of college football this weekend. It is a pretty good slate of games here on this third Saturday of the season. We'll talk about that coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Matt LePay for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress destination for quality, selection, and service. For over 90 years, Steinhoffels has helped Wisconsinites create the homes of their dreams and is 100% employee-owned. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of all the latest styles and all the best mattress brands. You'll find something for every style and every budget. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
ESPN Madison is your home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Underneath it, bumps it, left side, powers it down. What a rally, and Wisconsin comes out on top.
From early season showdowns to a run for the national title, hear every match this season on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Blocked by Bucky.
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball on ESPN Madison is presented by Steinhoffels and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also brought to you by Northwestern Mutual of Southern Wisconsin.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly opened Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Liberty Station serves American comfort food with regional touches using many locally sourced ingredients. The bar at Liberty Station offers vintage cocktails created in a classic style, local craft beers, plus a wide array of wine options. And be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area. Liberty Station, conveniently located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses, helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
We're on the Packers.
This speed of this defense is a step faster than everybody they've played so far.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
This Micah Parsons effect, it's even bigger than I think we thought.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN. From LA to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
I'm Jesse Nelson. Yes, it's a big day of college football. Wisconsin and 19th ranked Alabama, the first of a triple header on ABC and the ESPN app. At 2:30, it's number 6 Georgia at number 15 Tennessee. That's where College GameDay is this morning on ESPN television. And it's followed by the nightcap, Florida and number 3 LSU, all on ABC. One of the other big games today, top 25 matchup, 16th ranked Texas A&M at number 8 Notre Dame. That's at 6:30 tonight on NBC. Big noon kickoff, number 4 Oregon at Northwestern in Evanston, that little baby stadium by the lake, hosting big noon kickoff today. 12th ranked Clemson at Georgia Tech. 13th ranked Oklahoma's in Philadelphia visiting Temple. It's a road game for Oklahoma. Interesting. And Central Michigan at number 23 Michigan. That's also an 11 a.m. kickoff this morning. Plenty of games still to come the rest of the day. Number 2 Penn State hosts Villanova at 2:30. Number 7 Texas hosts UTEP at 3:15. And a top 25 matchup, 3:30. 18th ranked South Florida, the story of the season so far. And number 5 Miami. They battle on the CW is where you can watch that game. Also, one more in the nightcap tonight, Ohio and number 1 Ohio State, 6 o'clock on Peacock. Back to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz. It's ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light, live from the Everlight Solar studio at ESPN Madison. And speaking of Everlight Solar, ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay is brought to you in part by Everlight Solar. Save money and save the planet. Ditch the energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar, your local solar energy company based in Madison. Visit everlightsolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Plenty more to get you set for Wisconsin and Alabama coming up in just a few minutes. Do want to mention on the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line, Tim in Oregon. Riley, good Badger boy. Grilled meat area was where all the Badgers fans are probably hanging out. So Tim in Oregon enjoying our conversation with Riley Yauk, the host of our postgame show, who joined us live from Tuscaloosa in our last segment. Remember, if you missed any of this morning's show getting you set for today's game, or if you missed any of the postgame show afterwards today, you can subscribe for full show podcasts available. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Mertzy, a big slate of college football. I ran through the scoreboard there as we came back from the commercial break. Any of those games stand out to you on the college football docket here in week 3?
Well, the first one was the one that you kind of mentioned incredulously, was Oklahoma playing Temple on the road.
What the heck is Oklahoma playing at Temple for?
There was a great piece in The Athletic this week about it. Temple was big in like 2015, and they knew they're trying to get a stadium on campus, and they're like, we got to do something big to really excite people about college football in Philadelphia. And they pulled out all the stops. They called every major program, and Oklahoma was the one that said yes. So they've had this game on the books for a long time. Different era in Owls football than was happening in
for sure.
2015.
And, didn't they just fire their coach? Weren't they terrible last year?
So it's not good.
It's funny how that happens.
Yes.
We would talk with Barry Alvarez on the Barry Alvarez Show about how Wisconsin's scheduling these games against Alabama. 15 years ago when Wisconsin was in back-to-back Rose Bowls and competing for Big Ten championships before the expansion of the college, before the introduction of the college football playoff. Right. This was a massive thing to put on the schedule for Wisconsin fans. And as we see and as we hear from Riley, who's saying a bunch of Badger fans have made the trip down to Tuscaloosa, people have been planning this for a very long time to go and take in this game, just like when LSU played at Lambeau Field, when the Badgers hosted Alabama last year. A lot of Alabama fans made the trip up to Madison, knowing it's one of the best college sports towns in the world. And now Wisconsin fans returning the favor. It's one of the great things about these home-and-home series. So I love it. I love that this is the case.
It's super cool. Love to see it. It's sort of like a bowl game atmosphere in season. And other games, obviously I'm really interested in the Georgia game at Tennessee today. I think that's going to be a telling game for both teams in terms of what they have out there this season. Challenge that's up there for Kirby Smart to try to get his program back up to the upper echelon. I know they're ranked 6th in the country right now. I feel like a lot of that's on reputation. They have to prove a lot today in Knoxville.
South Florida is the 18th ranked team in the country, USF. They are visiting number 5 Miami. It's at 3:30 this afternoon, and it's on TV everywhere, whether you have cable or not. The CW is where you can watch that game. South Florida, I heard Nicole Auerbach of The Athletic. She's on NBC Sports as well for their Big Ten Saturday night coverage. She was on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio yesterday with UW-Madison alum, and who joined us last week on Regent Street, Evan Cohen, along with
great to have Evan Cohen,
Michelle Smallman, and Chris Canty. They were all in Milwaukee this weekend attending the Packers game up in Green Bay. Michelle Smallman threw out the first pitch at the Brewers-Cardinals game last night. Big week for the Unsportsmanlike crew. But they were talking with Nicole Auerbach. She said South Florida is by far the story of the first 2 weeks of the college football season. I disagree. I think Alabama is the story of the first 2 weeks of the college football season. But South Florida beat Boise State, who was ranked, in a Thursday night opener.
Smoked them.
Right before the Badgers played. And then they went to Florida and won last week at night over the Gators. South Florida has as impressive 2 victories as anybody in the country right now. And so if they can upset Miami, who's riding high, they beat Notre Dame in that opener, they're feeling good. I'm sure they're not going to overlook them now that they just beat Florida last week. But if South Florida could make some noise and upset Miami today, even if they play them competitively, you're talking about a team that's probably going to be in the college football playoff if they don't mess it up the rest of the way. South Florida has that inside track now to be that group of 5 representative that could stir it up a little bit like Boise did last year and potentially make a run, win a game or 2.
Love these kinds of stories, and obviously South Florida's had some periods in the not too distant past when they've had a pretty decent program, but I love it when a team comes out of nowhere, and a game like that, especially those rivalries, those in-state rivalries. I saw that was the first time the Gators have lost to a team from Florida other than Florida State since 1938.
Wow.
How about that hot seat for Billy Napier? And then now he has to go to Death Valley West tonight against LSU, who, incidentally, I heard this story this morning. There's a 66-year-old guy that joined the LSU band. He's a retired accountant, and he just says, he's had a lifelong fascination with them, so he enrolled in school after retirement, and he joined the band. He's playing sousaphone down there tonight for the Tigers.
That's awesome.
Talking about odd things in college football.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. I love that story. I'm also intrigued by 16th ranked Texas A&M and number 8 Notre Dame tonight. Yeah. It's an NBC game, 6:30 prime time. Notre Dame, who lost their opener, if they lose a second game, you start to think all right, they're probably outside of playoff contention being an independent. Texas A&M can never win the big game. So
I know.
Can they go to South Bend and sneak out a victory and get to 3-0 and actually be a contender in the SEC? I'm intrigued as a college football fan. That's a very compelling matchup tonight, Texas A&M and Notre Dame. So
yeah, and
excited
again,
for that one too.
Again, I love seeing these matchups early in the season with these cross-conference, or in Notre Dame's case, independent, but just a matchup that you don't see very often. I think everyone's appreciated what Marcel Reed has brought to Texas A&M as the quarterback, as a dynamic quarterback. Hasn't been able to stay healthy, and like you said, they had their shot against Texas last year. Had him in College Station and could not finish the job. They were clearly not up to the challenge at that point. But you do like what Mike Elko's done down there since he came down. That's a program that has just been sticking out their chests for years and talking about how much money they spend and how they're going to bring in the number one recruiting class every year. And they haven't shown that production on the field. So big opportunity for them tonight.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light, also brought to you by the Gordon Flesh Company. For more than 65 years, Gordon Flesh Company has been providing cutting-edge technology for companies of all sizes as the nation's largest Canon and Lexmark dealer. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more. Coming up, we still have our game picks from around the world of college football. We still have the best of Barry Alvarez to review from this week. And, of course, plenty more to get you set as we count down inside of 1 hour to go until Wisconsin and Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz, don't go anywhere. It's ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
This is a magical month at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, with 13 chances to win big every week. Starting at 6 p.m. each Friday in September, 12 winners will enter an enchanted forest and select a cash prize of up to $2,500. Then at 9 p.m. every Friday, one winner will open a door to reveal a grand prize of up to $10,000 in cash. Be here for our Forest of Fortune promotion happening every Friday night in September. Don't miss your chance for prizes all month long at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
Looking for the perfect pizza meal just for you? Introducing Pizza Hut's new personal pizzas, the Crafted Flats. 5 bold, hand-stretched personal pizza recipes. 3 cheese, pepperoni duo, the ultimate, and for a limited time, Nashville hot chicken and chicken bacon ranch. All just $5 each, all day. The perfect pizza deal for lunch, dinner, or on game days. Order your $5 Crafted Flats at one of their locations or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Well, you and I, we make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you can cash in. PrizePicks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. PrizePicks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. PrizePicks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, PrizePicks won't count it as a loss. PrizePicks is the best way to cash in this football season. Which players are going to go off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the app, use code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right.
This is Wisconsin Volleyball National Champion Devin Robinson. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Madison, Wisconsin is as good as it gets.
It's all about the Badgers.
Go Badgers!
Go Badgers!
Games like this is what really separates college football from everything else.
Open up the history books. Here comes Rondé. That was J.J. Watt, and what a story this young man is. Gordon again. What a performance by Melvin Gordon. And the pass rush gets home for the Badgers. Camp Randall lets it roar.
This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Less than 1 hour to go for Wisconsin and 19th ranked Alabama at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, where sources close to the show can confirm it is a takeover of Cardinal and White in SEC country. And not just Riley Yauk. I've also got a text here. Adam Mertz, Jesse Nelson, ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. Alan in Wanakee texting on the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talking text line. I don't think Alan is related to Riley or is citing Riley as the source here. Sources on the ground say it's a Tuscaloosa takeover. It's a sea of not crimson red, but cardinal red. Jump around playing in every bar. They just don't tailgate like us. Alan and Wanakee sharing on the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talking text line. Less is more. So if that's any indication, Adam Mertz, I don't know how the game is going to play out today necessarily, but it appears that the Wisconsin fans who have made the trip to Tuscaloosa, like our Riley Yauk, are enjoying themselves and are getting after it and getting ready for a big game day in SEC country.
I mean, I love to hear this. I think this is actually a significant developing story, Jesse, because you know how Badger fans used to be known for traveling to bowl games and just like this caravan of people who would drink towns dry. That I feel like that's eroded a little bit the last few years. Part of it's like just the bowl structure and going to, the Duke's Mayo Bowl instead of the Rose Bowl might have something to do with it. But
the Wake Bowl was the last big win Wisconsin's had, though.
I mean, hey.
Fickle's debut game.
Right. But that I feel like that reputation's eroded, and so to hear that people are excited after what they've seen out of the first 2+ years here of the Fickle era, they're still invested in this program. It's just kind of waiting for something to pop here and get that excitement back.
And it would make it that much more special if Wisconsin were to somehow pull off a miracle today and as 20.5-point underdogs upset the Alabama Crimson Tide. Actually, I am seeing, according to ESPN Bet, the line has shifted this morning. 19.5 is now the line. So Wisconsin gaining ground, according to the odds makers at ESPN Bet. It's down to 19.5 in favor of Alabama. So I guess maybe they're seeing that the Cardinal and White are taking over the tailgate scene in Tuscaloosa as well.
Sure, that's a strong influence.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. We got a point back. Thanks to everybody that's made the trip down there, enjoying their Coors Lights and on the quad and wherever else you may be in Tuscaloosa, as Riley shared with us a little bit earlier in our show. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay is brought to you in part by Canopy Wealth Management, where they carry a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every day. The team at Canopy emphasizes building local relationships and believes that values matter and strengthen their communities. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. So a couple of injury updates. If you're just joining us, you're driving around, getting set to go watch the game at your friend's house or a local establishment, or just running to the dump or wherever you go on the Saturday morning before you get back to watch the game. I always went to like my dad, big
tradition,
Saturday morning,
big family tradition.
Take the grass, the weeds, all that stuff to the dump on Saturday morning. So hopefully if you're text us in if you're on the way to the dump this morning. I appreciate it. Shout out to all of you. 844-770-3776. So if you're just joining us, the injury developments, regardless of whether you got dirt or whatever in the trunk.
I got to know what else you did for excitement in your household now.
This weekend dumping? Like, what's going on?
Ashton Robin, our producer. So we go to the dump. Sometimes you go get donuts. Sunday it was big ham and rolls. You bring that home. Watch a noon Packer game on Saturdays.
Bed Bath
Beyond. It was more like you run and go to the gas station, fill up the gas tank. After you go to the dump, maybe get some lunch, bring it home. Yeah,
I mean,
the good old days when I was a kid. Oh, what a time. What a time we had back in the day. Ryan Williams is the star wide receiver for Alabama. He is expected to play today, returning from a concussion that kept him out of last week's game. Jam Miller is a running back for Alabama. Fantastic name. The all-name list for the 2025 season. He is not expected to play as he continues to battle an injury that kept him out of last week's game as well. So Jam Miller not expected to play. We know their tight end is already out. So that's two significant offensive components for Alabama that are for sure out. And Ryan Williams playing, but when you're returning from a concussion, if you're at full strength, great. Like, that's awesome. You never know if that's going to be a little bit of a hindrance for him in his first game back. But with not playing last week against Louisiana Monroe, which Alabama steamrolled 73-0, largest shutout win in Crimson Tide school history last week, 73-0. How did they bounce back from Florida State? That's how. He didn't play last week. Curious to see what it looks like for Alabama offensively, and if Wisconsin's defense, which ranks third in total defense through 2 games in the country, can limit Alabama even a little bit because of some of those injuries, that could make this game just that much more interesting.
I appreciated Riley Alk's A, enthusiasm, but B, his breakdown of what he thought had to happen in this game, because I think he's on point there in terms of getting some pressure on Ty Simpson, the Tide's starting quarterback. He's sitting on a 17 completion streak. He was 17 of 17 last week against Louisiana Monroe. I don't think you can read a ton into that. I think back to like Tanner McAvoy completing 17 straight passes in an early season game. When you have things schemed up pretty well against a lesser opponent, that's possible. I don't want to dismiss it, but Ty Simpson is not a proven commodity. He sat behind Jalen Milroe. He's pretty new yet. He doesn't have that security blanket of a Jam Miller at running back. They're searching for a guy there. I do think that he's got some dynamic weapons. Jeremy Bernard, like we mentioned, and then Ryan Williams is just one of those playmakers who loves the moment. I think about what he did to Georgia last year in that insane game down there where Georgia rallied from 28 points down to take the lead. And the next drive, who do they go to? Ryan Williams. He just makes plays. So I think concussion be damned. He's going to be out there showing his stuff today. He's a big-time player.
Chris and Hingham on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talking text line. I'm on the way to the dump, Jesse. Then a stop and quick trip before watching the game. Shout out to you, Chris. Thanks for tuning in on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Sorry, I got distracted by that. Great breakdown of Alabama and what's going on there offensively and what you mentioned about the defense for Wisconsin. Speaking of Wisconsin, so injury updates on the offensive side of the ball. Danny O'Neal is expected to get the start at quarterback today as expected. That was first reported on Thursday. Billy Edwards likely out. Technically still hasn't been officially ruled out, but expected not to play. Danny O'Neal, according to ESPN's Pete Thamel, expected to start at quarterback today for Wisconsin. Not surprising. Set a record last week, most passing yards in a debut as a starting quarterback in Wisconsin football history. It was against Middle Tennessee. But what I did think stood out last week and what could help Wisconsin this week is Danny O'Neal in that offense, a lot of quick passes. And if you're worried about the offensive line being able to hold up against Alabama's front, which I think is a fair concern, Jake Renfro expected to play at center today, which is awesome. He is expected to get the start after missing last week, and we saw how out of rhythm that offense was last week when he wasn't in there. Not a lot of depth on the offensive line. Everyone healthy that they can get on that line, please let's have them play. But if they can have those quick passes or, set up the offense that Jeff Grimes run is supposed to be run first to set up the pass. Might have to make that adjustment when you have Danny O'Neal in there and when the offensive line is the way it is against Alabama's front. But if you can have quick passes as they set up last week, get the ball out quickly. It's really the opposite of what teams facing Micah Parsons and the Packers are dealing with. Like, the teams that are facing Micah Parsons, it's all right. Like, how fast can we get rid of the ball because he's going to disrupt us so quickly? So Wisconsin has almost that same approach today against Alabama. How fast can we get rid of the football, or how quickly can we have a play develop? If you're hoping for a lot of slow developing downfield, big shots, that's not going to happen today. It's got to be fast.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think that Danny, or Billy, frankly, so far had shown that they were able to connect consistently enough to give you confidence to go downfield on a regular basis. So I think that plays out okay. The one thing that stood out to me is the way that Jeff Grimes does distribute the ball in this offense. 8 touchdowns this year, 7 players have scored. Like, he's keeping a lot of people involved. They've got a lot of options to go to. I was interested to see last week where the adjustment that he finally allowed himself to make at halftime was to run some misdirection plays. You are going to have to keep this Alabama defense on its toes. I feel like they're going to come out and they're going to want to show off their superior athleticism in terms of tracking you down. So you have to call these misdirection plays well and well timed. But I think that's going to be a valuable weapon for them today to kind of penalize the over pursuit and the anticipation.
What do you make of how Alabama was pushed around by Florida State on Labor Day weekend? And do you think Wisconsin is capable of doing that today?
So we were talking earlier about this matchup last year, and you remember sort of the buzz a little bit around Badger practice week that we were starting to hear through our channels about how Wisconsin was fired up by what they saw from that Alabama defensive front and feeling pretty good about what they were going to be able to get done. And I that seemed to last as long as TVD was in the game,
so 5
essentially.
Plays.
So 5 plays. I mean, they still did some good work. Actually, I feel like up front, I don't feel like they got overrun in a lot of ways. I'm inclined to think that they can go toe-to-toe in terms of the physicality. What I always worry about with these guys, the defensive linemen in the SEC are just a different class of athlete. I think you see that even on a lesser level, if I could say so, with JVR Suggs. Like, what he brings, his explosiveness off the ball, I think that's what you don't see a lot of the time in the Big Ten. And so are they able to handle the quickness as well as the physicality? That's the big question mark for me.
If Wisconsin can establish a running game today, watch out. If they can get that 3-headed attack going with Dylan Jones, Dupree, and Cade Yakimelli, if they can start to split time and like they did against Miami, Ohio, and Middle Tennessee, kind of wear a defense down and get back to that old school Wisconsin feel where, and Barry Alvarez said this, and we're going to hear more from the coach coming up next. You don't win the game in the first half. Last week, fans booing the team off the field, and the first half wasn't great against Middle Tennessee, but they didn't have to go up 42-0 in the first quarter to beat Middle Tennessee. And how many times over the last 3 decades have we seen a Wisconsin team ground and pound, and maybe first quarter, first half, they're not up by as much as you expect, but then when you read the recap, Wisconsin manhandled Middle Tennessee. They beat them 42-10 last week. They crushed them, covered the spread, all that stuff. When you look back on it, you think of it big picture, sure, the first half didn't look great, but they wore them down enough, and then in the second half, they were able to assert their dominance. If Wisconsin can do something like that today against Alabama, I don't know if they're capable of doing it, especially given the health of the offensive line. But if they are capable of establishing some of that in the first half, if it's a 10-7, 13-10 kind of game, if they're within one score at halftime, I'm feeling pretty good about where this team's at.
So think back to, and this is not going to be a direct comparison, but think back to the Miami game this year where I think Badgers' time of possession was over 39 minutes. And you saw the dividends of that, over time, over the game. Not comparing Miami of Ohio to Alabama by any means.
Pretty disrespectful, Mertz, gotta admit. But if I'm an Alabama fan, I'm not happy about it.
Exactly. But you saw what Jeff Grimes was trying to do there, and it was more that old school control the clock, play out the game. This classic move by a team, if you want to shorten the game up, control the clock, keep moving the sticks, make Alabama nervous, give them less opportunities to expose you defensively on the back end.
844-770-3776, the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. You can text us sharing your official game predictions for Wisconsin, Alabama, coming up at 11 a.m. this morning on ABC and the ESPN app. Introducing Pizza Hut's new handcrafted personal flats pizzas. These are delicious, by the way. We had these in the office last week. It's so good. For just $5 each, you can enjoy bold recipes like Nashville hot chicken, the pepperoni duo, 3-cheese ultimate, and CBR. This was my favorite, the chicken bacon ranch flats. The perfect pizza deal, perfect for game days like today. Find the nearest location or order online at pizzahut.com. No one out pizzas the Hut. And no one out discusses the Wisconsin Badgers.
Nailed it.
Like Barry Alvarez, maybe, kind of. No one talks about the Badgers quite like Barry Alvarez does. And we have the pleasure of hearing from him each and every week on the Barry Alvarez Show here on ESPN Madison. So coming up next, we're going to hear the best of Barry Alvarez. That's straight ahead as we continue the countdown to kickoff for Wisconsin and Alabama. That's straight ahead on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
It's kickoff time at Metro Ford of Madison, and we're bringing the heat with unbeatable truck deals. Get the 2025 F-150 Lightning with 0% APR for 72 months, $13.89 per $1,000 borrowed, or tackle any job with the 2024 F-150 or F-150 XLT, now at 2.9 APR for 66 months, $16.41 per $1,000 borrowed. These offers end September 30th, so don't fumble your chance to save. Visit MetroFordofMadison.com and score your next truck today.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Starion Bank redefines local banking in Madison. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, experience a banking relationship where your goals are our priority. Enjoy competitive deposit and loan rates and a partnership that thrives on local engagement and support. Starion Bank is more than a full-service financial institution. It's a community pillar dedicated to your prosperity. Visit one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, offering banking, lending, mortgage, and cash management.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Electric bills are out of control, but with federal incentives, you can go solar with zero upfront cost and start saving hundreds a month. Badgerland Exteriors and Solar is a local and family-owned company, and they make the switch to solar simple. No pressure, no hassle, just honest.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
Bruner Realty and ESPN Madison have teamed up again for the 5th annual Putts for Pups golf outing benefiting the Dane County Humane Society. Join us for a day of golf at Blackhawk Country Club on September 19th. Since it started in 2021, Putts for Pups has raised over $120,000 for the Dane County Humane Society. Donate or find out how you can get involved at putsforpups.com. Putts for Pups is proudly sponsored by Badgerland Exteriors, Alts Operations, Zimbrick Automotive, and Vortex Optics.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz, as we count down to kickoff for Wisconsin and 19th-ranked Alabama, one of the most highly anticipated games of the Wisconsin Badgers 2025 season. We're here to enjoy it with you today on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light, also brought to you in part by Bruner Realty. Have you been waiting to buy your next home? You think, we'll get to it. Stop waiting. Now is the time, as Stacy loves to say, to get housed. For over 30 years, Bruner Realty has been providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area, including for my wife Becca and I 3 years ago. We loved working with Stacy Bruner and the team at Bruner Realty. Contact their team. We highly recommend them. BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started today to start your home buying process. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Earlier this week, and every week on ESPN Madison, we have a chance to catch up with Barry Alvarez on the Barry Alvarez Show. We were at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We were there last Monday. We will be there again this Monday and every Monday throughout the remainder of September. If you have a chance, make sure you come check us out, or at least subscribe to listen to the show on the ESPN Wisconsin app or watch it on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Each week on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, we take some of the highlights of that show, and it presents to you the best of Barry.
Let's hear what the coach had to say.
Why did they do that? Because it makes sense. If you got a half a yard, you start a yard. You start closer. You don't have to run 5 yards. I'd run that clock. That game would be over. We'd be home having cocktails at 3:30.
This is the best of Barry.
Don't be so touchy.
On ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Barry Alvarez on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. So let's hear, first of all, what the head coach said, not this most recent show, but 2 shows ago, about Wisconsin's opportunity to go to Tuscaloosa and play Alabama. This was right after the Crimson Tide had lost their opener to Florida State. A few weeks, Alabama, that game got a lot more compelling, I think, in a lot of ways all of a sudden when Wisconsin goes to Tuscaloosa in a couple of weeks.
I think we can. I said this before the season started. We can compete against Alabama, and not only compete, we can win that football game. There's no question in my mind.
I would guess right now we'll be favorites going into that game.
There you go.
Wow.
I'm just watching Alabama play. That is not a Nick Saban Alabama team, and whether Nick was there or not, and I have great respect for him, believe me, and. Whoever was there, we would go in there and compete well and have a chance. I'm guessing we will be favorites going in that game.
So that's what Barry Alvarez said 2 weeks ago. My jaw dropped when he said it.
You managed to wow.
I did get a wow in there. They are not favorites going into Alabama. They opened as 20.5-point underdogs. I told Coach about that earlier this week. Here's part 2 of the Alabama favorites conversation with Barry Alvarez. The questions that were asked of me to ask you, they said, are you going to ask Coach about what that line is? Because, yes,
you can ask me.
On ESPN Bet, Wisconsin has opened as a 20.5-point underdog for this weekend.
You know, those that are asking, that's what the bookies see. That's not what I happen to see, yet it doesn't make any difference what either one of us see. You got to go play. I have confidence that our guys will go compete with them and compete well. And so, we'll find out.
We'll find out, says the coach. He is essentially doubled down. He didn't say, no, I think that line is wrong. I think they should be favored. He wasn't that strong on it, but he likes what he has seen from Wisconsin and thinks that they have a chance to go and compete with Alabama today in Tuscaloosa. I hear that, Adam Mertz, and I hear a former head coach, a very successful head coach and director of athletics who built the program to what it is today. And I get a little excited when I hear something like that. Do you?
I mean, absolutely. When this first came out a couple of weeks ago, I had the same reaction you did with the wow. Because that's something that is exponentially more difficult to foresee, is the Badgers being favored in a game in Tuscaloosa. It just wouldn't happen unless they lost to Louisiana Monroe last week. That's the only way that would happen. But what I appreciate out of that, and I remember listening to that entire interview a couple weeks ago, was just Barry's comments about what he sees in Alabama. I took that as much of a criticism of where he believes that this program is right now under Kalen DeBoer as what he sees with Wisconsin side of the ball. And what he saw, obviously, recency bias, was complete disarray at Florida State in all three phases. But this is a team that, as you remember, fell apart a little bit down the stretch last year, really cost themselves a spot in the college football playoff despite everyone wanting them in there really badly. That loss at Oklahoma was a disaster against a mediocre at best Oklahoma team. They're are they 5-5, 6-5, something like that in their last 11? I mean, it's a team that has not.
Yeah, they struggled down the finish line.
They have not
last
shown
year.
the dominance that they did early on, and I think a little bit, like I said early in their show, that invincibility has been shattered. Watch them go, beat the Badgers 50-0 today, but that would be a change from what we've seen. I really do have my questions about this program too.
And I've been fortunate over the years to host shows with Tarek Saleh, Derek Engler, Mark Tauscher, and even to a certain extent players that played under Brett Bielema and some of the coaches that have come from the Barry Alvarez tree. So Brad Nortman has said this on this show. Find an edge has always been a message from the coach. Well, Barry Alvarez talked about how Wisconsin could find an edge against Alabama here this week. Here's what the coach had to say. Coach, where do you start when you're talking with your team throughout the week about what that competitive advantage may be?
You find it, whatever it is. You find it.
You make it up.
You may have to lift up the rug. You may have to look around the corner. You find out. You figure something out where you have an advantage. I'm looking at Alabama. And my whole thing was you're not playing Joe Namath, and you're not playing all those great Alabama teams in the past. You're not playing the national champions and all that. You're playing the cats that show up, the guys you're watching on film. That's who you're playing. So don't make this bigger than what it is. It's a good team. You have to respect them. You're playing on the road. It's a hostile environment. That's okay. We're going to do that all year. But don't make this bigger than what it is. Don't make them better than who they are. You watch films, you can evaluate who they are, what you have to do to compete against them.
The best of Barry Alvarez on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Remember to subscribe to the Barry Alvarez Show podcast on the ESPN Wisconsin app. So he went back to Joe Namath, talking about who's not walking through that door. I'm going to go a little more recent. Jalen Milroe ain't walking through that door today for Alabama. And he was one of the big reasons why Alabama did what they did against Wisconsin's defense last year at Camp Randall. Knowing that you're only playing the team that's on the field today. You're not playing the ghost of Alabama. You're not playing Nick Saban. You're not playing Derrick Henry. And take your pick of all the great Alabama players from over the last multiple decades that have come through Tuscaloosa. You're just playing this team that's 1-1, and they lost to Florida State and got beat up pretty good in week 1. If you just isolate it as that, give the team confidence in preparation throughout the week, you never know if that message will resonate the right way when that plane lands in Tuscaloosa, when those players get out on that field this morning, that they're going to be ready for a strong competition and staying in this game with the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, and again, if you're going back to last year and you saw where this program was in terms of its readiness for the big games, they came out to play. And the one that I didn't even add was the USC. You think about where you felt at halftime of that game with the Badgers up, 21-10, and just showing that they had a different level of play than they'd had in that first year under Luke Fickell, and really probably since at least 21. So I do think that the Badgers will come out with the chip today, I think they're going to come out ready to play, and it's just a matter of, as Barry said, can you execute? Can you find what I'm really interested in is seeing what Jeff Grimes might be able to expose defensively for Alabama. There are a lot of different pieces for the Badgers. I don't think any are dominant by any means, but there are a lot of different pieces that he has to play with out there.
The best of Barry Alvarez on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer as cold as the Rockies. Cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you and all the Badgers fans that have taken to Tuscaloosa this morning know what to do. And that's crush a Coors Light. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. We'll continue the countdown to kickoff. We'll take a look and make our official picks as a show for some of the other games around college football, plus our final thoughts as we give the final pep talk as we get ready for Wisconsin and Alabama with an 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC and the ESPN app this morning. Stay with us on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Liberty Station serves American comfort food with regional touches using many locally sourced ingredients. The bar at Liberty Station offers vintage cocktails created in a classic style, local craft beers, plus a wide array of wine options. And be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area. Liberty Station, conveniently located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
I was really anxious about college and felt overwhelmed at choosing one, but I'm so glad I didn't let that stop me. One tour of Madison College campus was all it took. The campus environment is amazing, so welcoming and friendly, and everyone is really supportive. My advice? See this campus for yourself. There's more to your story at Madison College.
Visit madisoncollege.edu to get started.
Well, you and I, we make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you can cash in. Prize Picks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks is the best way to cash in this football season. Which players are going to go off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the app, use code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
This is a magical month at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, with 13 chances to win big every week. Starting at 6 p.m. each Friday in September, 12 winners will enter an enchanted forest and select a cash prize of up to $2,500. Then at 9 p.m. every Friday, one winner will open a door to reveal a grand prize of up to $10,000 in cash. Be here for our Forest of Fortune promotion happening every Friday night in September. Don't miss your chance for prizes all month long at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
We're on the Badgers.
It reminds me of our 2016 year.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
I think being the underdog is a great thing for Wisconsin football. I think this could be that year.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and live video streaming on the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison. Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealer. Whether you need to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford, Metro Ford is the place to go. Visit Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today, or go to their website, metrofordofmadison.com, to see this month's specials and browse their inventory. The line has shifted. Wisconsin now a 19.5-point underdog on the road in Tuscaloosa as they get set to visit the 19th-ranked Crimson Tide. Kickoff about 30 minutes away on ABC ESPN app. Wisconsin and Alabama coming up. We've talked plenty about the game. We will do a little more so to close out the show next. But first, it's time for Adam Mertz and I to share our college football game picks of the week. And to present each game to us, we bring in this week's producer, in for Riley Auk, who has boots on the ground at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Here is our producer, Ashton Rotman.
Guys, it is such an honor to be part of this show, if even just for a short, quick segment here. I'm very excited for the weekend slate of games, some huge ones that we've got going on. Let's start with Georgia and Tennessee. This one, I'm looking at a Georgia 3.5-point favorite. Who are you guys picking in this one?
Mertzy?
I'm gonna go with the Dogs. I think they've won 8 straight in this series. On paper, I'm thinking Tennessee has a really good shot at this game. The thing that sticks out to me a little bit is that both of Tennessee's starting cornerbacks are out today. Gunnar Stockton's really held it in check so far. He has not tried to exploit downfield. They've got a lot of weapons. I think today is the day they open it up a little bit, and the Dogs win one in Knoxville.
Tennessee is 6-5 all-time when College Game Day is in Knoxville, a winning record against a lot of quality opponents when they go there. And Tennessee's been down for a while, so they haven't been there a ton as of late. But when they are, they pull off some upset victories. I like Tennessee at home getting this win over Georgia. Georgia struggled last week against... who did they play?
Austin Peay.
Austin Peay, that's right, who beat Middle Tennessee.
Correct.
I knew there was a connection
Correct,
there.
yes.
Georgia struggled against Austin Peay. Austin Peay might be the greatest FCS program of all time, or Georgia might not be what we think they are. And I like Tennessee at home in the afternoon getting this win in Knoxville with College Game Day there.
Very excited. Do I give my pick for this or no?
Sure.
I mean,
Pop it in there. You can pick on behalf of Riley this week. Let's do that.
Oh, I'm picking up. Okay, I'll make him look bad. I'll just take Tennessee. Why not? I'm not even giving reasons. I'm just going to pick teams, and Riley will now be known as the person who just picked Tennessee. Moving on to the next game. This one is the one that I'm probably the most looking forward to, so let's talk about it right now. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, a rematch of last year's game that ended with Notre Dame winning last second. Honestly, I think this is going to be a great game. I'm curious what you guys think. Notre Dame, nearly a touchdown favorite, 6.5.
I'm really excited to watch this game tonight, too, and for really no reason. Like, I have no direct connection to either of these teams. I just think it's going to be a good college football game. SEC visiting Notre Dame in South Bend, prime time. I just think it's going to be a, high-flying, really fun game tonight. I like Notre Dame at home. Texas A&M never wins a big game, especially when they're on the road. Give me Notre Dame at home. I like the Irish bouncing back after that loss to Miami.
Yeah, that's really fair, Jesse. Unfortunately for you Texas A&M fans out there, the stat that jumped out to me, and you saw Notre Dame really had a chance to close out Miami and didn't get it done. They fell apart in the fourth quarter protecting C.J. Carr. I believe it was 3 sacks and 8 pressures. Watch for that today. Have they shored up that offensive line? Because I thought that C.J. Carr played pretty well in that start for Notre Dame. Notre
Dame it is for me as well, guys. I for all the reasons Jesse said, mine is the fact that Texas A&M doesn't win a big game. I do have several family members and friends that are fans of Notre Dame, and I would actually like to see them happy this weekend instead of sad, which they will be later in the year when they inevitably can't win a big game themselves. Moving on to the third matchup, we've got the battle for South Florida. It's Miami. It's South Florida. I'm intrigued by this game. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. It seems like it's got a lot of big potential, and Miami is, of course, favored in that one, and they are favored by 17.5.
That's not surprising. Fun fact, South Florida is further north than Central Florida.
What?
You know that?
Really?
South Florida is in like the Tampa, St. Pete area. They play their home games where the Buccaneers play. And Central Florida is in Orlando. UCF is actually further south than USF.
That's kind of wild.
Bet you didn't know that.
Am I wrong? Do I just say the Battle of Florida then?
I don't know. It's a battle. Like, the school is called South Florida.
It's the label.
But it's not really in South Florida. It makes no sense. I never liked this school.
This is the battle for geography. That's what we're going to rename it.
For that reason, I will take the real South Florida school. Give me Miami at home. I don't know if they cover. I think South Florida plays them tough, but Canes aren't going to lose this game because, similar to why I think Wisconsin won't win at Alabama today, because Alabama already lost, because South Florida beat the Gators last week in Gainesville, Miami's going to be extra aware this week. Canes win.
Yeah, they're on the radar right now. I was Carson Beck. He's performed well so far, for Miami. I was looking at. We always talk about the carryover from the bowl game last season. South Florida with that huge 5 OT win in the Hawaii Bowl. I think that was the answer. That's the secret for their success this season.
That classic Hawaii Bowl. Who could forget?
Miami on the win and the cover, I think.
Yeah, clean sweep. Same for me. I think they're going to win by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
If I asked you a bonus one, Minnesota-Cal, that's your ACC After Dark tonight, 9:30 on ESPN. Minnesota having to go all the way out to Berkeley to play Cal for a late-night game. What do you guys think of that one? I like Cal taking down the Gophers.
I'm not watching that.
Pass.
9:30 p.m.? I'm tired.
Man, I love those late night Pac.
So do I.
Pac-10,
love either falling asleep on the couch
ACC.
watching it, or staying up. Like you're out, you maybe get some friends, go out to the bar, stay out till 1 in the morning watching your late night college football game. Heck yeah, give me Cal taking down the Gophers.
Well, and I thought that Cal might have been in trouble when Fernando Mendoza transferred and headed over to Indiana, but they have the guy Saga Polatele. 69% completions, 3 touchdowns this season. He's been pretty electric so far. They're really excited about what he can do. And obviously, we always like to see the Gophers lose, so I'm picking Cal.
Saga Polatele. All right.
Yeah.
Cal.
That's just the last name. I wasn't going to try to do.
That's just the last name?
Yeah.
What's
never mind.
No.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Those are our game picks around the world of college football today. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz. We're also brought to you in part by TPC Wisconsin. Golfers, beautiful weekend. Great deal for you to take advantage of TPC Wisconsin right now for a limited time at TPC Wisconsin. Enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. What? Pay just $150 per month through March with no golf dues until April 1st. Submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. Steve Stricker designed it. We had the ESPN Madison Open, the AmFam Championship, all out at TPC Wisconsin this year. Perfect opportunity for you to get involved in all that great course has to offer at TPC Wisconsin right now. Check it out, tpcwisconsin.com to submit an inquiry. We will share our final thoughts on Wisconsin, Alabama as we get set for the tussle in Tuscaloosa next on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Get ready to say goodbye to those bland seltzers at the ballpark. Carbless is proudly Wisconsin-born, crafted by real people. A husband and wife team who wanted better cocktails in a can. They're locally made and blissfully better. Carbless offers a bold, true cocktail flavor that's made for baseball fans. Available in fan-favorite flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and mango, bringing the craft cocktail bar to your seat. Refreshment that matches the energy of American Family Field is Carbless. Full of flavor, no sugar, and no carbs. Just game day bliss.
Well, you and I, we make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you can cash in. Prize Picks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks is the best way to cash in this football season. Which players are going to go off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the app, use code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
The Midwest's best baseball players have one thing in common: GRB Academy. For 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, producing over 468 college commits and 27 major league draft picks. Their Windsor facility has 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training space. Next up to bat is GRB's Top Prospect Camp on Sunday, October 12th, open to the high school classes of 2026 through 2029. Claim your spot now at grbacademy.com.
Is your roof underperforming? Saggy shingles, leaky spots? Sounds like someone needs a little Avondale Roofing. They don't just patch things up, they go all the way. Tight, sealed, satisfied. It's the kind of roof that'll have your neighbors going,
now that's a roof.
Avondale Roofing. They get on top so you don't have to. Call now. Your house deserves it.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but a way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for well over 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
We're on the Badgers.
Team's in a good spot. Culture's in a really good spot.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
And now it's just about, hey, can you get back to that bowl game and hopefully get one or two of those marquee ones.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. Badgers fans in abundance in Tuscaloosa as Wisconsin visits 19th ranked Alabama. The Crimson Tide listed as 19.5-point favorites currently on ESPN Bet. They did open, actually it's down to 18.5 now. It just shifted. What is going on? They know the Badgers fans are there, Adam Mertz.
A lot of money getting laid.
Yeah, Alabama down to an 18.5-point favorite. That line has shifted by 2 points since it opened at 20.5 earlier this week. Mertzy, final thoughts as we get set for Wisconsin and Alabama in one of the biggest games on the schedule this season coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah, just to throw a couple numbers out there. Alabama's won 85 consecutive games at home against unranked opponents. Last loss, Louisiana Monroe in Nick Saban's first season, 2007. They've won 13 straight at home since losing to Texas a couple years ago. Here's the one that I'm focused on. 290 straight weeks in the AP Top 25. They lose today, they're out. That'd be quite an achievement for Wisconsin. I mean, obviously, this is just a golden opportunity for this program to really wake people up to what the Badgers can do under Luke Fickell. I don't see it happening, but, man, it would be fun to make it exciting today.
If Wisconsin can stay within one score in the fourth quarter and get the ball, I would feel like they've done a lot of things right today, and I feel like it would set them up well for the rest of the year. We have seen so many times in college football, and I'm not saying that Wisconsin is in the contention for a college football playoff berth right now, but what I am saying is you can lose a non-conference game and still have a really successful season in today's college football. Wisconsin could lose this game today at Alabama, but if they play hard, if they play physical, if they compete with Alabama and stay close, there is such thing as a moral victory in this case that if they know they can go to Tuscaloosa and compete with the Tide, then Ann Arbor is going to be a piece of cake in a few weeks. And Ohio State coming to our place is going to feel different. And, of course, the games against Illinois and Minnesota and Iowa down the stretch, those are going to feel different. Like, this game could set the tone, theoretically, if it goes well today for Wisconsin, could set the tone for what the rest of this season and potentially what the Luke Fickell regime starts to look like here if you can turn this thing around today. I don't think, like, it's house money, essentially, like Riley Auk said when he joined us from at Tuscaloosa. If they lose by 20 today, fine. They were expected to lose by 20 today. Like, no one thinks they're going to go to Tuscaloosa and get a win where this program's at right now. But if you can compete, stay physical, stay close, play your style, don't make mistakes, don't commit turnovers, don't commit penalties, Wisconsin's got a chance to stay in this thing with Alabama.
No penalties last week for the Badgers. How about that?
Let's run that again this week and see how it goes here. Wisconsin, Alabama. Remember the pledge, Mertzy. Hand up. Let's do it.
You got it.
I promise to tune in to the postgame show.
To the postgame show.
I will be hosting the postgame show today, so you better tune into the postgame show. Jesse Nelson and Corey Sparks going to have you covered immediately after the final whistle from Monk's Bar and Grill in Middleton, right here on ESPN Wisconsin. Thanks so much for joining us. Wisconsin, Alabama. Enjoy the game. All of you who drove to the dump this morning and dropped your stuff off, hopefully you had a great run. And let's enjoy a day of college football, and hopefully the Badgers shock the world. Wisconsin, Alabama, coming your way next on ABC and the ESPN app. We'll join you after the game. Take care, everybody.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.